Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to quickly drop in here to let you know that I'll be summoning for Legendary Elincia tomorrow on Twitch. So tomorrow on Saturday at
8 o'clock.
Eastern Time, that's when I'll be summoning for Elincia, Hinoka, and Rearmed Crom. So come check it out if you're able to, twitch.tv/Lucasaurus. I think it'll be a really good time. I have 1,300 orbs saved up. I'm going to go for the max merge. I probably won't be able to do it, but it'll be exciting either way. Every once in a while, someone on the subreddit will do like a legendary hero candidates tier list. And I always kind of like looking at them, you know, it's just nice to see what people are thinking of. They're all wrong, however. I'm the only one that has the correct answers for how likely everyone is to be a legendary hero. I've kept the info to myself until now. Finally, I'm letting everybody know what the correct answers are. Yeah, this was from Winterwolf18 on the subreddit. And yeah, this was what triggered me today, basically, to be like, okay, let's actually do this on the stream. It could be fun. So yeah, as we get started here, just start pitching characters to me, and I'll throw them in here. Let's see, Nimblerat mentioned Berkut. I'll throw him in here. I'll tell you now, I'm already like pretty down on the villains. Because the villains don't ever get legendary ults, I feel like. The last one we got that was a villain was Grima, right? There's a very good explanation for why Priscilla is in there. I was testing the template, and I just had to grab somebody. I was looking at the FE7 lineup. Yo, speaking of the FE7 lineup, I don't think there's anyone left besides Nils. I guess Nils is the only one I would think of. Like we got the 3 lords, we got Ninian. That's all I would expect to get. The entire Camus archetype. Have we ever gotten a Camus as a legendary though? See, for this, I'm going off of precedent, right? Precedent is very important. Camus, I guess Ishtar, if she counts as a Camus, then I think she could reasonably be on this list. I think she can be considered. Where is Ishtar? I'll grab a standard Ishtar. Grab George too. Does George do anything? I don't even know that man. We already have strong opinions in chat. This is good. This is exciting. This is going to be fun. Alright, let's get started. I know you can't see the whole lineup. The fourth row has Nils, Arvis, Camus, Ishtar, and George. I want to start with Path of Radiance Ike, because I was thinking about him earlier, and I was like, I think Ike is the one character across the entire series where we could reasonably get 2 legendary ults of him. One for the Radiant Dawn version and one for Path of Radiance. Because for Path of Radiance, like, I guess we have the base version and then we also have the Brave version. But he gets so strong in that game. Also, he has a promoted outfit in that game that's just not in FE. So I'm actually going to put him in, and could reasonably happen. Oh yeah, okay. So when it comes to the top tier and the bottom tier, I really don't like speaking in absolutes when it comes to making predictions like this. It's just a surefire way to make yourself look like a fool. I learned my lesson during the Smash Ultimate like character roster speculation phase that changed me as a man forever. So I really don't like speaking in absolutes. So we're going to be using the top tier and the bottom tier very sparingly. Alright, so yeah, I'm going to put male Alear in happening tier. I think it kind of speaks for itself. We can probably put male Corrin in happening tier, right? See, like, this is how unsure I am about the happening tier. I want to put Corrin in likely tier. No, we can put him in happening tier. It's fine. These are going to be the only 2 in happening tier, though. I swear to God. Like the Krises? I've never even played a game besides FE where the Krises are playable. But I'm not going to put them in happening tier. You can't convince me. They're likely. Let's do the engage, like, house leaders, essentially, is what they are. We got Ivy, we got Diamant, we got Alfred, and we got Samara, who's not pictured. I'm actually not sure where to put them. The problem with these guys is that, like, if they do become legendaries, then it's not going to be for a while. Because we don't get like fast turnarounds on like base alts and legendary alts, right? Am I crazy? Like Yuri was probably the fastest, and even that was over a year, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know, that kind of makes me want to put him lower. But even still, eventually... Yeah, also Faye is kind of neglectful of Engage. That's the vibe anyway. And this is objective, but it also goes off vibes. This goes off of objective vibes. Even still, though, I guess we gotta put Ivy in likely. I don't know, I'm really torn on this. Does Diamant promote after you get him? I guess he does. I think they all do, actually. Tamara does too. They all have like promoted outfits. I kind of want to leave him in could reasonably happen tier, honestly. I'm going to leave him here because I value precedent so much, and so far we haven't gotten any of these losers as legendaries. I think we could have a tier between these two, and that's where I would put him. It is, I agree, it is a little crazy that Camilla hasn't happened, but the fact that it hasn't happened, to me, is indicative that we might just never get her as a legendary. Because, like, if you look at legendary Hinoka, like, that has, like, a basis in the game, right? P color tier? Yeah, this could be our P color tier. I'm really struggling to find a good color for this. How about, like, a dark orange? There we go. I think really, so just going off of the fact that, like, Hinoka has, like, a basis in Fates. Like, that's the scenario where you do the birthright route, and then Hinoka becomes the queen, and she inherits all the weapons from her dead family. So I think really the analog to Hinoka would be Leo, so that's why I think Leo is likely, and not Camilla. Camilla, I'm gonna put down here. Conquest, not birthright? Oh, you're right. Yeah, legendary Leo would be cool, I think. They could give him, like, the Ice Blade or whatever it's called. Leo's Ice Blade. Or maybe they can finally make Brynhildr good. Shout out to Queen Camilla literally being a Fae OC. Yeah. And yeah, like, that's what they would have done for legendary Camilla, but, like, one, it's not canon, in quotes, and two, it's already in Fae, so. Speaking of CYL3, no, that's too loose of a connection, I can't do that. So here's the thing with Soren, right? Like, remember when Brave Micaiah came out, and we were like, oh, this is just what they would have done with legendary Micaiah if she was going to get a legendary alt instead of a Brave alt. I feel like that's what's happened with Soren. Like, Brave Soren is literally just what legendary Soren would have been. So for Soren, I don't know what they would do for his legendary alt. I don't know what that leaves him. Like, they already did his promoted outfit from RD, and he doesn't have, like, a... Yeah, they could make shit up. But it's just, like, even from, like, the Cipher card game, like, they could pull from, like, you know, they pulled Queen Micaiah from that. I don't think Soren has anything like that. Even still, though, I think they could probably make some shit up. I'll put him in, like, Engage Crown Purgatory. I think he's definitely more likely than Ike and Camilla, but less likely than these guys in likely. I hold the likely tier in high regard. It's going to be hard to breach this tier, I think. Okay, hear me out for Sanaki being likely. I think I was just going to talk about her. So Sanaki is a weird one. I wonder if Sanaki could be, like, one of the only candidates for a Path of Radiance legendary. Nah, I guess that wouldn't make sense. She wields Ragnall and Elenday. Those are literally her swords. That's true! Ike and Zelgia stole her swords. There is actually a Cipher card with them, you're right. That doesn't mean the legendary alt will get it, though. Like, remember when I got the Cipher art where, like, Lilina had Armads? That was cool, but they never did that in Fae. Tragically. I think I like Sanaki in Could Reasonably Happen tier. I think, like, Sanaki's got to be less likely than these guys, right? That's how I look at it. We're talking a whole lot about Tellius. Let's throw Sothe up in likely tier. People go back and forth on Sothe because he's, like... He would make for a good Ascended, basically. I think that's kind of the idea. But I figure he basically... He's kind of the same as Lilina or Sita. Like, he plays a similar role in the story. If anything, he's way more engaged in the story than Sita or Lilina. I think you could argue that, like, Toranea was more engaged in RD's story than Lilina or Sita. But yeah. I like Sothe. I'm hot on Sothe. Could you pull up the... Yeah, I was thinking about that too. So, like, 4 years ago, or whatever, Faye did, like, a protagonist banner or something, where they, like, for the first time ever, they, like, designated, like, here are the main characters. You know who was on there, actually, that I want to throw in here? It was, Tsubasa, and, Tsubasa and Itsuki, right? We got a good tier list going so far. I think this is objectively correct. I haven't gotten to the non-zero chance people yet. TMS never ever. Negative chance of happening. Okay. Let's get them on the board first. I'm gonna exclude Rowan and Leanna until they are in the base game. Until they're in the game, like, with base forms. Okay, so we all agree Tsubasa and Itsuki have, like, a non-zero chance. I feel like they have to, because they're still main characters. The question is, could they reasonably happen? And I think they probably could. I think non-zero chance, so this tier is for people like... I'll go find one. Like, this tier is for, like, Minerva. Minerva has a non-zero chance of being a legendary. But I don't know if I put her any higher. That's where I'm at. Oh yeah, we gotta go grab male Shez. That's a good point. Okay, male Shez, not gonna lie, I don't know if he goes in happening tier. We already have 10 million 3 houses legendaries. I'm not convinced. Like, I don't know if it's a rule that every male protagonist will eventually become a legendary. I don't buy it. Maybe if Corrin gets it. I'm putting Shez in likely tier. Pray I don't put him lower. I'm gonna grab Elincia. So Elincia's another one where, like, Priscilla... Okay, fine. I'm gonna go ahead and put Priscilla in not happening tier. That's gonna be our only not happening at this rate. Elincia... At the very least, I think Elincia goes in likely tier. I think people maybe overstate her role in the story in Radiant Dawn. It's like, it's technically true that she's, like, sort of the main character of Part 2, but also Part 2 is, like, 5 chapters, and Elincia's only playable in 2 of them. Add Tibarn? I'll add Tibarn. I was thinking about him earlier. Let's grab Tibarn. Tibarn, I was thinking about it. If they're going to do a Path of Radiance legendary, I think it could be Tibarn, reasonably. I'll grab Fafnir, but only so that I can put him in not happening tier. Oh, you know what, though? They could do like they did for Eitri. That's true. I forgot about Eitri. Eitri's like a one-off case, right? Where, like... That's like a legendary character who doesn't have, like, a base form in the game. Eitri set a very interesting precedent that I forgot to account for until just now. Okay, we already have legendary Veronica. Oh, Veronica too? Well, okay. No, yeah, that's valid, yeah. We didn't have a base form for Veronica either. Very good points from chat. My tier list is still objectively correct. I was just missing some info that wouldn't have changed anything. Don't worry. I'll put Fafnir in non-zero chance based on that. Genuinely forgot who Fafnir was. Okay, I gotta work backwards here. I was talking about Tibarn. I think Tibarn's good here. In non-zero chance. I think Elincia is good here as well. I'm tempted to do happening. I was saying that people overstate her role in the story a little bit, but even still, I think she's likely to happen. Okay, Anna. Let's do all these guys. Alphonse, Sharena, and Anna. I feel like if these guys are gonna get legendaries, they are like... They're gonna coincide with story events, right? That's like the scenario where the Askrs trio gets legendaries. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't have faith that Faye will do something that cool. Ever. Right? 10th anniversary. After 10 years, Alphonse gets to be good. If they were, they would have done it in book 6. Yeah, I don't know what, like, the long-term plan is for the story in Faye. I think they have to be, like, partially playing it by year, because they don't know how long the game's gonna live. If anything, Legendary Alphonse should have happened in book 3. I think that would have been a good time to do it personally, but... Let's see, is Henriette in here? I'll grab her too. I think Henriette's got a non-zero chance, based on Eitri. I think we can throw Nils on the board real quick. I think the only issue with Nils is that it's like another legendary dancer from the same game. I don't know. I'm inclined to say that he's not as important to the story as Ninian. However, does that matter? It may not. He is a dragon. He's a dragon, though. They love making legendary dragons. I think based on that fact alone, I kind of want to keep Nils in Purgatory tier. Nils plus the Fate's Little Sisters go in non-zero chance. Interesting. War Axe Lissa. Lissa doesn't do anything in the story, though, I'm just saying. Not that that is, like, necessarily the biggest deal. Minerva, I don't know, does Minerva do anything? I don't remember. That may not be the biggest indicator, though. Maybe I shouldn't overstate that. I'll put Nils in could reasonably happen. I think maybe I'm tempted to put him higher only because, like, there's nobody left from FE7 if we look at the FE7 lineup. Are we talking about, like, Jafar at that point? Or Nino? Legendary Nino, maybe? Which is pretty important, I'd say, about as much as Sita. I'm inclined to disagree, but I couldn't tell you why. I'm just going off vibes. They would absolutely do Legendary Nino. We already got Giga Nino. Now we have Omega Nino. I like it. They should do it. I mean, I could even see them doing, like, Legendary Ursula. Maybe not. I'm putting Carl and not happening as well. Alright, we decided on Nils, we decided on Nino. I think that covers the whole FE7 lineup. I can't think of anybody else. How about Shannon? Shannon could be one. So from FE4, we have Seleth and Julia, and Sigurd, and Deirdre. We actually have quite a few from FE4 already. We already have Ascended, not Legendary, Merida. I agree that Shannon feels like more of an Ascended and not a Legendary. Let's do Shannon later. I don't know if Finn's super important in FE4. I guess he's there fighting with Leif and Nana. Is Nana an FE5 Legendary? I think she is. We're throwing out too many characters, I can't keep up. I can't rate them all as they come up. I'm gonna put Shannon... I'm gonna put him in not happening tier. Strikes me as more of an Ascended guy. I gotta start making snap judgments here. Lowen, on the other hand, maybe. Yeah. Lowen is in reasonably happen tier. Okay, so let's talk about the villains. I hate to say this, but I think I gotta put the villains in not happening tier. It's just so rare that we ever get villains as legendaries. I guess Eitri was one. But besides that, it's just like Robin as Grima. Arvis, I think Arvis does stick out only because, like, we literally have, like, what would you call it? Like a promoted, like, big bad boss Arvis from FE4 that you fight toward the end. So I don't know, based on vibes, I'll put Arvis in non-zero chance. The rest have to stay in not happening, though. That's my decree. He does do a bit of a face turn, that's true. But so does Ishtar. I'm just gonna throw Ishtar in there. I think I want to put Ishtar even lower, honestly, because we do have an Ascended for her, but whatever. George would be more of an Ascended, so I see him Ascended position instead. I don't know nothing about George, so I'm putting him in not happening tier. I don't know anything about that guy, frankly. Okay, Black Knight, I think I saw him on, like, the tier list from the subreddit. That's another one where I'm just like, I don't think so. I'm gonna veto that one. Well, what would he even do for him? It's like, I think his outfit does change a little bit in Radiant Dawn. He gets, like, the slash mark on him, and I think his cape changes color. But, like, are they really gonna do that for a legendary? I don't know. Especially since we don't get villains hardly ever. BK's Elgius about as likely as Tibarn. I rate Tibarn higher because he's at least playable. I'm gonna keep BK and not happening tier. And if any one of these gets into the game, then the whole list is invalidated, unfortunately. Speaking of Tellius, I'm gonna put Titania. Okay, I think we need an extra non-zero chance tier. Okay, in infinitely approaching 0 tier, we have Titania. I'm gonna throw Ishtar in there. I think those two are good there. I'll throw BK in there too, why not? Just because they could technically use the Radiant Dawn design for BK. Surely Kara's a little possible? No. Why is Nino a non-zero? Because she's Nino. She does her best. I think it's Titania. I did make this tier just for her, but upon reflecting on it more, she is like one of your main. She's one of your main guys in Path of Radiance, and for the Grail Mercenaries. Oh yeah, let me read the Tibarn. Anyway, I think Tibarn should be higher. Ike and Makai were the commanders of the Grail and Silver armies. True, and Tibarn was the commander of the Hawk army. Very true. Yeah. In part 3 of Radiant Dawn, it splits up into 3 armies. And Elincia, even though she got her own like section of the game before that, she just like joins the Hawk army. I guess I don't know what else they would call it, like the Crimean army. Even still, I think I'll keep Tibarn in I think Tibarn, I don't know. I think Tibarn and Minerva both belong at the top of this tier. Does that make sense? I'm looking at I'm looking at Camilla in could reasonably happen tier, and I'm like, yeah, I think we get legendary Camilla before Tibarn. Why just get fucking Shez before any of these cool picks? It'll be really interesting to see if tonight's legendary is on here. This is we can test if this tier list works tonight. I think we got a good selection of characters here. I did grab Katarina before, and I think she's a non-zero chance. I have very little knowledge of what Katarina actually does in that game, so I'm just going off of vibes for Katarina. What a surprising turn of events. We only have 2 characters in happening tier, and they're both guys. That's how you know this tier list is invalid. I think Legendary Veyle could happen. The only issue is that we don't have her as like a base alt yet. I guess it's not literally a guarantee that like we have to get the base alt first, but that's how it tends to play out. Mysticals. I don't know, I'm thinking about the other legendaries we have in the game, and I'm just not feeling Mist. I think Mist could even go down here. Mist more likely than Tibarn? Yeah, I agree. I think she belongs down there in non-zero chance. We've got a lot of Tellius candidates, apparently. That's probably bias. But even bias aside, we got Sothe, we got Elincia, Soren. I think we've run through so many legendary candidates in the actual game, and we're left with just a bunch of Tellius characters and nobody else. Okay, maybe not really. Yeah, it's probably bias. FE8 real quick. FE8 is an interesting one because it really is just like Erica and Ephraim, and from there it's unclear who you would choose. I'll grab Joshua. We already have Myr. So yeah, our 3 FE8 legendaries are Ephraim, Erica, and Myr. I think we may as well grab Tana and Ines. They do really like Tana. We've gotten a lot of Tanas. La Rochelle, hear me out. Alright. Tana and Ines. I think Tana could reasonably happen. I guess we do have Rearm Tana. I don't know if that makes it more or less likely. I think if you look like a year out or 2 years out, I think you could be looking at a legendary Tana. No Tana, yes Ines. The problem with that is Ines, tragically, is a guy. I was thinking about Ines, and I agree that Ines should theoretically be more likely than Tana, but I don't know, man. We've gotten so many Tana alts. I think Ines, I could even put him like up here. My heart says that Ines should go up here, but my brain says based on precedent he'd go like down here. I think if we're putting the engage crowns up there, I think La Rochelle may as well go up there too. I'll do non-zero chance for Joshua. I mean, come on, look at the other people we have here. We have like Henriette, Lissa, Nino. I think Joshua can go up there. Would anyone have guessed Guinevere? Where would I have rated Guinevere? That's such a good question. I don't know where I would have put Gwen. Maybe non-zero chance. I think I would have put her really low, honestly. I like Takumi personally. Completely different subject. I guess Takumi doesn't have like something to draw from like you do with Leo or even Hinoka. So he's definitely lower than Leo. I think Leo is like gonna happen. I just don't like putting people up here. Takumi. I think Takumi's good here. Open the door for Nyna. Who is Nyna? Is this one Nyna? I don't think so. I don't remember what Nyna does. I think she likes Camus. That's the thing I remember about her. She's the princess Marth protects and hangs out with all day. Okay, like with Roy and Quinn. Fair enough. I'll promote her to could reasonably happen, based on my professional counsel. We've got these two children hanging out down here. Technically adults. I think we should put them somewhere. Leave them there, they're happy? No. Maybe I'm overrating them, but this is my gut instinct. Because they're Fates Royals. That's mostly the reason. I don't think there's a single Fates Royal that's below could reasonably happen. With Leo being the highest. Yeah, I think this is good. That's everybody. We did it. We tiered every character. So from now until the end of Fae, there shouldn't be anybody else here. Sumiya. Sumiya's an interesting choice, but I don't know. I just think she'd make up for a way better, like, Ascended or Rearmed. Do we have any Awakening characters on here? Is there anybody from Awakening that's left? From Awakening, right? We have both Robins. We have Crom. We have Lucina. I'm not hot on Tharsha either, honestly. I think Legendary Tharsha happens in, like, the last year of the game. I think Tharsha is the last Legendary. Therefore, she is the strongest. When Fae is in, like, its purgatory zone, when they're not actively supporting it but the servers are still up, Legendary Tharsha will dominate the meta. We gotta grab Tiki. I'm gonna promote Adult Tiki to engage Crown Purgatory. Because she's a dragon. She's marketable. As it were. And we've already demonstrated that we're willing to pay for her, so... Anybody else from Awakening? Morgan? We already have so many Morgans running around. I think I'm good on Morgan. What about Gaiden? Is there anybody left over from Gaiden? We threw Berkut in there, generously. I don't know if Jenny's popular or not. Yo, you know who actually has like a decent amount of dialogue in Echoes? Saber. Saber would be a dope legendary. I think he goes into infinitely approaching 0 tier though. I liked Althea a lot. Very fun character. I don't know if she'd be a legendary though. Just getting all the popular female characters out of the way. You know what we can do actually? We can look back at the one from the subreddit real quick just to see who else they threw in there. Okay, so I see Seteth already. We can throw Seteth in there. Is there anybody in like the top tiers? I think we got all these guys, right? He's not... Okay, he's not literally the Lord of Silver Snow. I like Seteth a lot. But he's not literally the Lord of Silver Snow. It's just Byleth. He doesn't play the same role as like Aelgard or Dimitri. I hear what you mean though. Seteth is pretty important. You know, in the Fates DLC, I forgot what it's called already. But like, who is the main character in the Fates DLC? Where you play as the kids? Is it just the Kanas? It's the Kanas. Okay, let's throw the Kanas in there. They're dragons, right? I'm putting Celine and Alcryst very low, because I just imagine that we're going to get the other crowns first. Diamant, Alfred, Ivy, and Tamara. I see all of them happening before Celine and Alcryst. And at that point, you're talking about, like, 2032. We could finally get Omega Yato with either of the Kanas. True, but then they can't be dragons. I'm gonna put the Kanas... I'm gonna rate them highly because they're dragons. I like this personally. Seteth, non-zero. I don't know, man. I think we got everybody. I think this list is more than complete. And really, you just need to look at like these top 3 tiers right here. we should crop this for the one we put on Twitter. You know what I mean? If I were to put this on the subreddit, I would maybe just crop it here. I can't think of anybody that would go. Anybody else that would go up here. So the legendary we get tonight would probably be one of these guys, right? Most likely. I think I could put Eldigan up here and could reasonably happen. Well, alright. I mean, that's basically it. If I cut this for a video, I think this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Summoning video soon, most likely.